Morning everyone. So we'll be talking on food microbiology under the title of Scope and Applications of Microbiology. Food microbiology, it involves the study of microorganisms that cause spoilage of food and the microorganisms that are used to prepare foods. That means food microbiology, it involves both the aspects, beneficial aspect as well as harmful aspect. Spoilage of food, the definition. Now you see that food is a very rich nutrient medium for the growth of different types of microorganisms. Food contains carbohydrates, lipids, fats, oils, proteins, so vitamins. All these are the different nutritive materials which enhances the growth of microorganisms. So this means that different types of foods acts as a nutritional material for the growth of microorganisms. So these microorganisms, they used to contaminate the food. Contamination of food means, the word contamination means entry of foreign microorganisms into that particular environment, entry of undesirable microorganisms in that particular environment. It is called as contamination. So this contamination leads to the growth of microorganisms in food, and as a result of growth it leads to the changes in physical and chemical characteristics of food. This condition is called as spoilage. So in short, we can define spoilage of food as the changes in physical and chemical characteristics of food due to the growth and multiplication of microorganisms. It is called as spoilage of food. So spoilage of food, it may leads to severe consequences. For example, food poisoning and food-borne infections. So as I mentioned earlier, that food is a medium for growth of microorganisms, and different types of microorganisms are supposed to grow in different types of foods depending on the nature of food or depending on the type of food. Type or nature of food, this means that some foods are rich in carbohydrates, some are proteinaceous, some are fatty. So depending on the chemical nature of food, different types of microorganisms tend to grow and contaminate the food materials. For example, meats, poultry, eggs, fruits, vegetables, etc. etc. For example, meat, in short, meat which is obtained from slaughtered animal, so freshly cut meat, it tends to contain very few number of microorganisms. But when it is processed means when when it is cut using saws or knives in order to prepare the small pieces, so this processing, it leads to contamination or addition of microorganisms. Every time the meat is processed, the microorganisms are tend to contaminate the meat. That means this meat material is going to expose to new environment, like microorganisms present on saws, knives are supposed to enter and cause huge contamination of meat, which further results into spoilage of meat. Bacteria responsible for spoilage of meat are Clostridium, which are anaerobic bacteria, Pseudomonas, Proteus, and Lactobacillus. Then poultry products are also can be contaminated by the entry of undesirable microorganisms that leads to spoilage of poultry products. So as it happens with meat, poultry products also get contaminated with microorganisms which are present on the skin of live birds, and these microorganisms, they are supposed to contaminate the poultry products during killing, defeathering, and evacuation processes. Bacteria responsible for contamination of poultry foods include Pseudomonas acinetobacter, Escherichia flavobacterium, and Salmonella. Several yeasts are also responsible for contamination like Trichosporon, Torulopsis candida, and fungi like Penicillium, Alternaria, and Aspergillus. Eggs. Internally, eggs are free from microorganisms. However, if there are any cuts in the shell of egg, then there are chances of entry of foreign microorganisms inside the egg, and further it will leads to growth and multiplication of these contaminants that leads to spoilage of egg. Example of bacteria responsible for spoilage of egg are Pseudomonas acinetobacter, alkalogens, and protease. Contamination by Salmonella, it creates major issues because it is associated with the cause of severe food poisoning. Fruits and vegetables are also susceptible for contamination by microorganisms. So there are chances of breaks in the tissues of fruits and vegetables during processing and delivering of the product. So that allows the entry of microorganisms into the plant cells. Acidity of fruits is responsible for control of growth of bacteria, but fungi are resistant. So fungi, they love acidic environment. So vegetables susceptible to bacterial attack than fruits. This is because the pH of vegetables is slightly higher as compared to fruits. Seafoods are also contaminated. For example, the pathogenic microorganisms may contaminate the seafood if that seafood is harvested from the water which is polluted or sewage polluted water, and sewage contains several human pathogenic microorganisms. So fishes growing in contaminated waters can transmit bacteria as well as viruses to humans. For example, Vibrio parahemolyticus, it is responsible for gastroenteritis and hepatitis. Growth of microorganisms, it causes the changes in appearance, flavor, odor, and other qualities of food, which is called as spoilage. So spoilage includes the word undesirable change. Undesirable means unwanted change in the characteristics of food. So there are several changes that occurs during the spoilage of food, and these changes are carried out by or mediated by microbial reactions. So these microorganisms are responsible for causing the changes in physical and chemical characteristics of food. So these changes are because of several reactions. These reactions are carried out by microorganisms. So these reactions are putrefaction. So there is a spelling mistake here. It is auto corrected like purification. So it is not purification, it is putrefaction. Putrefaction. Putrefaction, as the name indicates, it means proteolysis. Proteolysis means degradation of proteins by microorganisms. So whatever the proteinic material present in food is utilized or degraded by microorganisms, that leads to the formation of amino acids, amines, ammonia, and hydrogen sulfide. Hydrogen sulfide is a off smelling gas. So proteolysis or putrefaction is responsible for the undesirable change in food or responsible for spoilage. Microorganisms, they carry out the reaction called as fermentation. Fermentation means degradation of sugars or saccharine material. So this sugar or saccharine, it is degraded to form acids, alcohols, and gases. So this leads to the change in the physical and chemical characteristic of food, which is again an undesirable change responsible for spoilage. Third reaction carried out by microorganisms that makes the food undesirable for consumption or that causes the spoilage is rancidity. Rancidity means tasting or smelling bad due to long storage. Lipolytic microorganisms. Lipolytic means lipolysis, lipolipids. Degradation of lipids, it is called as lipolysis. So microorganisms that cause degradation of lipids, they are called as lipolytic organisms. So that degrade lipids to produce fatty acids and glycerol, which is again an undesirable change in food. Some microorganisms, they produce pigments, so they are responsible for discoloration, means change in the coloring properties, that is a physical property, change in color of food. And some are responsible for the production of slimy substances. These are the different types of foods caused by spoilage of foods caused by different microorganisms. Fresh meat, again there is a spelling mistake, it should be putrefaction, proteolysis, and the bacteria responsible for putrefaction are Acinetobacter, Clostridium, Pseudomonas, Proteus, Alkalogens. This table is given in your notes, so you can go through it and you see that the type of product is written in the first column, then the type of spoilage is in the second column, and third column describes the organisms responsible for this kind of spoilage. Then, to prevent spoilage of food, there are several methods of preservation. So food preservation includes prevention of spoilage of food, prevention of contamination, or killing or elimination of contaminants that may lead to the spoilage of food. So there are several methods of food preservation. These food preservation methods causes the removal of contamination, inhibition of growth of microbes, and killing of microorganisms. First one is aseptic handling and processing. So the efforts should be made that there should be minimum contamination by other sources during handling. Therefore, maximum times whenever the food is handled or during the processing of food, it should be handled under aseptic conditions or aseptic environment. That means the environment which is free from foreign microorganisms. Second one is use of high temperature. High temperature leads to the killing of contaminants and leads to the preservation of food. So there can be use of dry heat, for example in oven, and there can be use of moist heat, for example a pressure cooker or an autoclave, which is responsible for the killing of contaminants. Third one is use of low temperature. Microorganisms require a specific temperature for the growth. For example, in general, microbes, they require approximately 25 to 30 degrees Celsius for growth. So if the food spoilage is to be avoided, if the food is stored at low temperature at 0 to 4 degrees Celsius, the metabolic activities of microorganisms stop, and therefore there will be no growth and multiplication, and hence there will be no spoilage of food. So use of low temperature, frequently we use this technique at our home, that is refrigeration. Next one is dehydration. Another important component required for the growth of microorganisms that leads to spoilage is water and moisture. So in absence of water, the microorganisms are not able to grow. So removal of water molecules from that particular food creates an unfavorable environment for the growth of microbes. So dehydration is a technique in which the water content is removed from food, making it favorable for the preservation. Radiation is another technique in which different physical rays like ultraviolet rays, gamma radiations are useful for the killing of contaminants, which is one of the type of costly techniques of preservation. Then use of chemicals, for example, in pickles there is use of oil, there is use of a lot of salt. So these chemicals creates an unfavorable environment for the growth of microorganisms. So use of salts, use of different types of antibiotics, use of different chemicals in foods preserves that food and prevent the contamination by microorganisms. One of the methods generally used in case of packed foods is canning. Can is a small container in which the food is packed, and during packaging the oxygen is removed and then the cans are heated at 100 degrees Celsius. This causes the killing of contaminant and this causes the removal of oxygen. So majority of the contaminants are aerobic. So if oxygen is absent, then aerobic organisms won't be able to contaminate the food, or they will not be able to grow in food. However, anaerobic conditions may create a favorable environment for the growth of anaerobic bacteria, and the major threat for the canning industry is Clostridium botulinum. Clostridium botulinum is a pathogen which is responsible for a very severe food poisoning. Severe means it affects the central nervous system, it may leads to contraction of muscle, respiratory problem, blindness, deafness, and it may be responsible for the death of humans. So this is how the canning it also helps in the preservation of food. As we have seen in the definition that food microbiology, it involves the study of microorganisms with harmful aspect and the study of microorganisms with beneficial aspect. Now let us see the beneficial aspect. Microorganisms are useful in the making of food. Microorganisms are useful in the making of fermented foods. So microbial fermentations are sometimes desirable. For example, microbial fermentation of meat, vegetable, fruit and breads is sometimes desirable. These words are very important: desirable and undesirable. We have seen that fermentation is also involved in spoilage of food, but that is undesirable fermentation, unwanted fermentation. Desirable means we want that fermentation to happen. So these words are very important, and in this case, in the making of fermented foods, fermentation is responsible for changing the chemical characteristics of food which are desirable. That means it causes the formation of a good flavor characteristics, good aroma characteristic. That is why fermentation is good here. So these acids are responsible for imparting the flavor, and along with that it imparts preservation characteristics and the distinct flavor characteristics. Sauerkraut, it is a preparation of cabbage which is shredded and packed tightly, which is again fermented with the bacteria called as leuconostoc. So this is an example of fermented food. So leuconostoc and lactobacilli are responsible for adding several flavorful acids and responsible for increasing the flavor of sauerkraut. Pickles, as we have mentioned earlier, in pickles also lactic acid bacteria, they tend to grow, and these are responsible for production of lactic acid and other flavorful substances that imparts flavor to the pickles. Then microbes are very useful in the making of bread. For example, Saccharomyces cerevisiae that produces CO2 and ethanol. So production of CO2, it causes the duff to rise, are responsible for giving a loose and porous texture to the bread. Fermented milks and fermented products are the other examples of fermented foods like cheese and buttermilk. However, we'll discuss more about fermented products under the title of dairy microbiology. So, dairy microbiology it particularly deals with fermented food products produced by using milk.